Facebook, and I got the app on my phone.
Yeah. It's a browser thing. It's a browser issue.
Ah, okay.
Okay, it did say we are live. Give me a second to go to it and see if I can tag him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a browser issue. Let
Ah.
me mute my thing. You say Deotric?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not gonna let me tag him or pull his name up. So, hey guys, hello, hello, hello. Um, we are gonna go ahead and get started. Our guest has somewhere he has to be really, really soon. So we're gonna try to give you guys until about 8:15. Get your questions in. We are talking about men's mental health. Per usual, I always have my own questions, but if you guys get your questions in, I will leave mine alone. I will go ahead and tag you guys' questions for him. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you give us an introduction?
Good evening, everybody. This is Charlie Riley, aka Charlie the Great, aka the Great One. We're here to talk about a subject that's always kind of skimmed or looked over. Men's mental health. Let's get into it.
Yeah. All right. So you kind of gave us briefly. It's always looked over. So go ahead and just kind of explain a little bit more of why you chose this topic.
Well, this is something that's really been heavy on my heart lately, but I got two teenage boys now, and I really want them to come out of not talking about how they feel or what's going on with them internally. Um, Not to put race on it, but especially as black men. Um, Nobody never really pays attention to how a boyfriend, husband, cousin, dad, any male figure in their life, nobody never really takes the time to see how they feel about, what's going on with them mentally. Everybody's always kind of, well, he'll be all right, and they kind of skim over, emotions and male feelings.
Hmm. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is when I ask my questions and I do what I do with my posts and my videos, I kind of do step by step breaking it down. But it's like you hitting straight into it. So some of my questions that I asked, you may have already answered it. So if I ask it again and you got a different answer, just shoot it on out. That just means we gonna go faster than I thought because you already tag teaming into the questions that I have, which is really good. I like when the conversation just flows like that. So going
Yeah.
on to the next one. So why isn't there a large discussion around men's mental health?
Okay, so here's the thing. For as far as I can remember, out of my 40 years growing up, um, men are always told to be a certain kind of way. So society tells you that if you show emotions, you're weak. Nowadays, women tell you if you show emotion or if you feel some kind of way about a certain situation, you're soft. If you're around your homeboys and you shed a tear, or you're trying to tell them what's going on with you, they consider you soft or a punk. So it's one of those things to where it's like, when is it okay for me to ever release something or to show emotion or to show anger?
Hmm. Yeah. And I hope I'm not going into one of my other questions when I say this, but I was seeing most men share, I can't remember it verbatim, but it's a post that's saying, I don't know if he was making a statement or was it asking who do men vent to, and then every man that shared it, they said nobody, keep it to yourself, talk to God, and then you will see most of the women getting on there and they like, well, that's just the women y'all deal with because my man, or they overlook what people are actually saying. Like, and it's just because you do it, that don't mean the masses is doing it. Which is why
Right.
you got so many men sharing these memes and these posts and saying, "Don't talk to nobody. It's gonna be used against you. Don't say nothing." She gonna turn it against you later on. And it's like we're not hearing what they are saying.
Right.
And we're showing you guys, it don't matter. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I hear you, but then it ain't about you at the end of the day. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Like we gotta learn to hear the nonverbal communication and the verbal communication. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of the nonverbal when men are sharing these memes and they're saying, can't talk to nobody, they're gonna use it against you.
Yeah. That comes from a lifetime of mental abuse, something that the whole nother discussion, but it comes from a lifetime of mental abuse. It comes from when you're a kid, when you're a little boy, and you hurt yourself and you go to your mom or to your dad, mainly to your dad, and he, oh boy, man up, put some dirt on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a sister in the house or something, and you a crybaby and all that. See, what people don't realize is that type of stuff, it sticks with men. And what it forces us to do, it forces us to go into a mode of retreat because we've been taught all our lives, you don't show emotion, you don't cry, you don't say nothing, you man up, you put dirt on it, and you go on. And then when we grow up and we get into society, it's a different story. So for instance, those type of things will make men not want to talk. So I saw that post that you was talking about. Me, I'm one, I talk to my wife about everything.
Mhm.
But there becomes a time when I need to talk to another male.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. The reason that is because nowadays men talk like women. I can't trust my brother to tell him nothing because guess what? Before 2 hours is up, when he leave, I'm gonna hear it again. I trusted you, not him, her, and her, or him, and him. So
Absolutely.
what happens is it forces men to go into a mode of retreat where I just won't talk to nobody. And they internalize everything.
Hmm.
And then it comes out at the wrong time. So in society, it comes out and you're a troublemaker. You just starting trouble. And it's never the person that quote unquote deserves it. It's always somebody innocent.
Yeah.
So somebody may be putting up with stuff for so long and he'll go to the restaurant and his food ain't right and he blow up. Well, it's not about the food not being right. It's about him not being heard over his lifetime.
Hmm.
And now his expression is not what it should be.
Hmm.
Is he wrong for blowing up? Yes. But we have to look past him blowing up and say, let's get to the root of this thing, man. Where did this problem start?
Hmm. And you know what's crazy is I see most men like bashing therapy or I've seen most men, a lot of men, let me not say most, but I've seen a lot of men bashing therapy, and I've seen a lot of men saying, I'm tired of these relationship podcasts. We need to talk about sports and politics and et cetera, et cetera. And the thing with that is, to me, they are the problem because relationships, we have to be in relationship. You want to be a husband one day, but you don't want to learn about relationships, houseway. You want to be a father one day, but you don't want to learn about relationships, houseway. You want to be a good friend or a good brother or, whatever in the man's role, but you don't want to learn about relationships, houseway. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why we have a lot of these issues going on because men don't want to talk. You wanna push it under the rug with sports. You want to push it on the rug with politics. You want to push it on the rug with drinking, smoking, being promiscuous. You want to push it under the rug with that. And then in the same breath, we telling our men, you need to learn how to be a leader. Well, y'all don't want them to talk. How can they lead?
Mm-hmm.
They can't express their emotions. They can't keep them stabilized. How can they lead?
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. But once again, that is taught behavior.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
taught behavior. We're taught to ball our emotions up. We're taught to sweep it under the rug. Um, and here's the thing, even in sports. So growing up in sports, if you hurt yourself, the coach will tell you put some dirt on it.
Yeah.
Or man up, you all right. You
Yeah.
can finish.
Brush
No,
it
I'm
off.
in pain. Yeah, brush it off. No, I'm in pain. This pain hurts. It needs to be dealt with.
Hmm.
So what I'm teaching my boys is, and trying to teach a few of the men around me is that there's a difference between a uncontrollable action and a controllable action. So an uncontrollable action is what we're discussing right now. is from a lifetime of internalizing pain. And here go the thing. I realize that somebody that internalizes everything, that's a dangerous person because you never know when they're gonna blow up.
Yep.
You never know when they're gonna blow up.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to teach people is and really bring awareness to is we don't need we got enough Skip Bailey and Shannon Sharp. We got enough of them. We got enough of Shaq and Chuck and all we got enough of that. We got enough of politics. We got enough of that. We need to talk about the root issue that's going on in our community and our households and our churches. Men are lacking in those areas because they have nobody to go to. They don't know how to express their feelings. Number one, if you do a survey and ask a simple question, how would you handle A, B, C, and D? 9 times out of 10, out of 100 men, 85 of those men are going to exhibit violence because that's all they know, or they're going to walk away from it and not worry about it.
Yeah.
Like now, men don't want to fight for their kids, but they'll fight over a neighborhood that don't belong to them.
It's like the respect. It's like a territorial thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm not a man, so I already know y'all full struggles. I just know what I hear. Um, but it's almost like a territorial thing. Like I have to prove my my dominance. So I have to prove I'm a man. So I got to be more aggressive. Is that? I mean, is that what's going on with where you say like I don't have to? They want to fight for their kids, but they'll fight over the territory.
Yeah. So manhood, man, manhood is a thing of um. So like it's mainly a show out contest, if you will. See, if I get smacked in the face by another man and I walk away, I'm labeled as the coward or the punk. But the guy that smacked me, he's labeled as the man.
Right.
And people around me will push me to go and retaliate and say, well, man, he wouldn't have tested my manhood like that. And I used to say this, ain't no price on my manhood, being macho. It's a macho thing. But on the surface, to me, I won because I was able to walk away. Nobody lost their lives. Nobody got into a fight or a scuffle. You did what you did. I'm accepting and walk off. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we have to be able to understand that everything doesn't have to be solved with violence. Everything don't got to be solved with a fist or an argument amongst men.
Right. Right. But but when they don't have, it's like you said, if you internal a person that internalizes everything is a dangerous person. And when you
Mm-hmm.
ready to explode, you're gonna explode that on whoever the next victim is. So it's
Yep.
like that's why we got so much violence. I feel like that's why a lot of our men or they retreat to killing first before having resolutions because we don't give them the space to talk. And when they start talking, we call them cowards. So okay, now I gotta prove that I'm not a coward. I'm gonna take your life. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept behind it because it's like I don't understand how taking somebody's life makes you more superior or a man, but it's just that's the thing we don't understand the mind of a man to be able to say, well, don't do this, do it this way. Especially when you don't give them the safe space. I call them safe spaces, but you don't give them the safe space to be able to vent and cry or yell or do whatever without calling them a punk or weak.
Yeah. And the harsh reality is this is something that's going to be ongoing until the end of time because
Yeah.
a lot of things that us as men, a lot of things that we gather over the years, it starts in house. It starts in your home when you're a kid, when you're growing up and you're old enough to know right from wrong. It starts then. And what it is, it's kind of like it's kind of like a flood, if you will. A flood, it doesn't start in the city it takes out.
It
It starts
overflows.
hundreds and hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
And what happens is, as it's coming toward that city, it gathers a bunch of stuff, trees, rocks, cars. And then when it finally finishes, you got all of this clutter in one spot. Like that's how it is with men and internalizing stuff.
Hmm.
Growing up from I'm gonna say about kindergarten and up. Why I can't go tell the teacher that he took my glue without some other kid bullying me? Why do I have to dress like you for me to be accepted? Why do I have to say or talk a certain way for me to be accepted? See, those are things that people don't talk about. Oh, that ain't nothing. That ain't even that serious. No, it is that serious. I shouldn't be bullied because I dress, talk, walk, or act or look a certain way. Now I have to internalize that pain. And what it'll force me to do is it'll force me to try to be like the crowd. When I'm not like the crowd, then I'm an outcast. Now I got to worry about being an outcast. Now that I'm an outcast, I still have to worry about being bullied. Now I got to force myself to defend myself.
Yeah.
After I defend myself, I have to worry about being shot and killed by the cops because somebody called and made a big deal out of me defending myself. They never see the bully, they see what the bully got.
Right. Exactly. And you said some of this in the beginning of the panel when we went live, but I want to go ahead and just touch it a little bit more before you have to leave. So, what are some of the mental struggles that men battle with?
Okay, so let's start with the single man first. The single man has to worry about number one, if he doesn't have a job, it may not be that he's lazy and can't work. He probably just can't find work right now. And people will talk about him, call him, because here's the thing. Chris Rock said something. I'm not agreeing with all of it, but it kind of true. Only women and animals are loved unconditionally. Men, we're loved based off of a certain condition. So if he doesn't have a job, his family, friends, and everybody, they don't want to be bothered with him because man, he broke. He don't have this. If you fall off, then now all the false accusations. Nobody never there to help the single man. If he has a baby mama now, oh he broke. I'm gonna take him to court. If I don't have money to pay you now, how can I have money to take care of my child? So it's a lot of stipulations. And like me, if you're a husband and a father, a minister, so all of these different things, like even right now, I have a party to go to. I have two jobs that I work, and I still got to be a full-time husband and father.
Yeah.
So all of these different things, when they start to pile up, I need to release something. I need to talk. And here's the thing: I'm sorry about that. The big misconception is sex will solve this, drinking will solve that. No, sometimes I need to get by myself and let my mind go. And the thing is, as men, we internalize things. Well, I got to be Superman for my family, and I got to be this, and I got to be this. Society has made us pick something to be. Well, I'm a hustler. Well, I'm a go getter. And no, manhood starts when you realize that you have an issue. Then you're willing to deal with that issue the correct way. Excuse me. I know you talked about therapy. It takes a real big man to step outside of his macho uh persona and really say, "Hey, I need help,"
Yeah.
because most men won't. So our internal struggles are based off of people that surround us.
Yeah.
If you sit a man down by himself and really talk to him, you'll learn that he's a totally different person when he's by himself and when he's with family and friends or coworkers.
Facts. Not to cut you off, but it's funny. You were saying a little bit earlier. Um, I want to touch back on the drinking part. Now, I know it's real popular now to party and club, right? But what I notice when I sit down and I talk to men who are in that lifestyle, you find out their struggles. You find out more about them when they are sober than when they are drunk. And I noticed that when they're going through stuff in life, instead of them having a shoulder to lean on, cry on, or whatever, the quickest thing people do, oh, let's go turn up. Oh, just take a shot. Oh, here's about it's like we give them solutions to suppress, but we never give them solutions to actually fix the things that they're dealing with internally. Then when they
Right.
spazzing out, they mad, they trying to find a solution in between a bunch of women legs, they trying to like keep up with, the shots, the drink, and the rapport of their friends and family, then they find themselves lost. and they done
Yeah.
dug themselves in a deeper hole, and it's all because we are giving them solutions that are really not solutions.
Right.
We need to stop them from talking, I feel like.
And it is because the drunker I get, it tends to. So here's the thing: it's a distraction,
Yeah.
and it is a suppressant because if you can keep me drunk, then I don't have to talk about it. Therefore, we don't have to discuss it. If you're in a relationship, every time we get into it, if we go have sex, then you only telling me that sex solves everything. So when this relationship don't work and I go to the next one and the next woman saying no, sex don't work, talk to me. I don't want to talk, I want to have sex. Now it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sex doesn't solve everything. Drinking, smoking, what solves it is talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
If like if I have an issue, I need to talk about it. Why would you give me something that's going to silence me?
But we don't think like that because the normal is to do that. Oh, I'm depressed. I need to go smoke. I need to go drink. I need to go party. Oh, let's go do that. Why you thinking about that, girl? Get out the house. I know it's about men, so let me stop saying girl. Okay, dude, bro, let's get out the house. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And you're helping them suppress the real issue. And then you
Right.
wonder why a lot of men are walking around depressed and not talking
Mhm.
mentally. I don't remember the last time I did a study on it, but the stats, it's a lot of men commit just as much suicide as women. So you
Yeah.
see so many men, we are literally helping them suppress the issue. And I did a video before. It's actually a selfishness for real because I feel like we use somebody else's pain to go suppress our own as well. So you depressed, I'm depressed. Let's go fix it with, sex, drinking, party, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
So, do you feel that men are more harsher on men when it comes to them expressing themselves?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, we're we're our own worst enemy. Not just speaking from a self standpoint, but from male to male, we're our own worst enemy. I heard a guy say, man, we in this together, bro. But when it came time to help me out, you left me.
Yeah,
Not only did you leave me, you went and talked about me.
yeah. Oof.
And you talked about me like a dog.
Hmm.
So the thing is, every male feel that the next male should be like him.
Yeah,
If you can handle certain things and I can't, you feel like I should be more like you.
yeah,
No, I'm not the type of person to. I used to internalize things and blow up because all my life that's what I was taught.
right,
Men don't cry.
right.
Men don't whine. Men don't show emotions. Men don't do A. Men don't do B. Men don't do C. But growing up, spending time in jail, getting in trouble consistently, it taught me that it's easy for me to tell somebody, hey, I don't like that. I've had plenty of friendships end because I told my friend at the time, hey, bro, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Oh, man, you tripping and you a punk and you soft and no. And I got a lot of friends that didn't listen.
yeah,
Some of them never see the light of day again.
yeah,
A lot of them dead and gone now.
yeah,
But the thing is, men tend to fault other men for not being the way that they are. Like I believe that it's something it's simple that don't mean nothing. My wife will never in her life take out trash as long as I'm around or me and my boys around. She'll never take out trash. That's just something I don't believe that a married woman with kids, especially male kids, should do. My daughter, she if she take out trash, it's because she wants to. My daughter's the type, well, I'll just do it myself. But she has never taken out trash. Now, the next man, he may let his wife or make his wife or tell his wife, well, you got to take the trash out too. Is it does that make me better than him? No. Does that make him better than me? No. We just have different views on things.
mm,
But society will tell you, Oh man, he a better man than you because his wife don't take trash out. And then it becomes a power struggle, or it becomes a competition, if you will.
Right.
Now this competition has spewed over into something else. And if
Mhm.
you go back to the root of the problem was, I don't let my wife take out trash, yours do. That's the end of
Mhm. Which is not that big of a problem. I mean, what goes for your house ain't gonna go for my house, and that should be that. You shouldn't be worried about
it.
what's in my house either way.
Exactly. Exactly. But one thing, Randy, I can tell you, us as men, that type of stuff matters because we don't want the next man to be better than me.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I've been around men who, they don't want their wives up and moving around when other men are around. Me, I'm confident. I know who I've been married to for 10 years. I know who I've been with for 13 years. Now, by chance, she decided that she wants to go off and do such and such. It ain't because of anything I'm doing or not doing. Sometimes it just happens.
Mhm.
But another man will tell me that's because you had her around all them other men. No, no, you can't do that
Yeah.
because now what you're doing is you're putting me in a position, like I said, because what people don't realize about men is we carry stuff. So I'll carry that situation to the next relationship, to the next friendship.
Mhm.
If you ever notice, men that hang around a whole lot of men, it's always a bunch of drama with all of them. And that comes from this friendship didn't end right. So what happened to this friendship? I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put it to the next friendship. Then I'm gonna put it to the next one. And it's always some drama going on. But one thing I can tell you about us men, a lot, not us, but a lot of men hate self accountability.
I ain't gonna disagree with that.
Hey, you ain't got to tell me a lot. We
Yeah,
and
y'all
we
go
feel
ahead.
like,
Y'all go ahead.
yeah, we feel like uh it's unmasculine to have self accountability. I ain't never wrong. I wasn't wrong, or we'll pamper our wrongdoing. Yeah, I did it, but no, no. Either you did it or you didn't do it. Either you were wrong or you weren't wrong.
And I
And
feel
we
like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say we have people, mothers, family members, mainly mothers, that don't hold that male accountable.
Hmm.
They'll be in that man's corner knowing that he's dead wrong
Hmm.
and fight tooth and nail to prove that he's right.
Hmm. And so, with you saying that, do you think a lot of the mental battle too that a lot of men are going through is because of the lack of? So, I don't want to say that they are immature, but do you think is a thing of, okay, I know I'm wrong, but I don't know how to fix being wrong. Yet I also don't want to say that I'm wrong. So do you, I mean, do you think that's a lot of what goes on in the man's mental, or what is it as it relates to having to prove yourself that you're a leader and you're a man? Like, what battle is going on with y'all?
It's definitely a sign of immaturity because a mature man is going to say, how do I fix this problem? Now, a mature man, like I'm one, before I go off and fly off the deep end, let me check self first. Let me make sure that I'm clear first. Let me check me first. And a lot of times I find out that it's me.
Yeah.
So it is a sign of maturity. We have to start understanding that number one, we're not always right. Because a lot of men has been told, well, you the head, what you say go. No, sir. If you don't know how to lead properly, you're going to have problems. But
Absolutely.
here's the thing, leading comes from learning how to follow.
Absolutely.
See, growing up, we're told you the head of the household, and I got to show you how to be the head of the household. And we learn it from somebody that don't know how to follow. And 9 times out of 10, that his dad didn't know how to follow. His dad didn't know how to lead. The
Hmm.
woman ran the house, and whatever he did, whatever she said do, the dad did.
Hmm.
He wasn't taught properly. And now that he's grown, he don't want to learn properly. Like I had an older guy, he used to take it as a badge and wear it as a badge of honor. Oh man, I'm an old dog. Don't set in my ways. That's ignorant thinking. That's immature thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we teach that to our sons and our daughters and, you know, things of that nature. So it's a huge sign of immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
And men get mad when women say, you act childish.
Mm-hmm.
And here go the misconception about being a man. The first thing we start rambling off, oh, I pay all of the bills and I go to work and I do this. Man, I can teach my son at 12 how to pay bills.
So
Paying bills does not make you a man.
so is it so as it relates to that right there with the whole paying the bills or being a leader or you know being the head of the household, like do you feel like men are stepping or trying to step into a role that they never were taught? Like what you just said, like, oh, you hear people say, oh, you the head of the house, don't let nobody tell you what to do at your house. We hear that. You guys hear that as men. But do you feel like the mental battle is that you guys are, and I take this lightly, any man that hears this, I'm not calling you little boys. I don't try to belittle you guys, but do you think that is little the little boy in him having to jump up to a man's role that he never was taught or never like physically visually saw, like this is how a real man, and I hate that word real, but this is how a real mature man leads his household. It's not about that toxic masculinity, type, oh, I'm the man type thing. Do you feel like that is a lot of their mental battle though? It's like the little boy in them is trying to be the man and don't really know how.
You hit it right on the head. It's a power struggle in between the man in me, and the immature boy in me. See, the thing is, I was raised by women. Guess who taught me how to love a woman? A woman.
Yep. Yep.
Then when I got grown, I started getting into the Bible, and God taught me how to love my wife.
Yeah.
But growing up, a woman taught me how to treat a woman. But a woman couldn't teach me how to be a man. So
Right.
I had to learn some things. I had to go through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be on the receiving end of my own immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did was I started to learn what to do, what not to do. I
Mm-hmm.
started to pay attention to the woman I was with. I started to pay attention to my family members I was around and watch their reactions on based off stuff that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know going to jail affected more than just me.
Yep.
So, like, I remember I went to jail once off of something stupid that I shouldn't have been doing, but I did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I went to jail and I had to sit down for a minute. And when I came home, I didn't realize that my little cousin them, they missed me more than, you know what I'm saying, I thought they would have.
Yeah.
And what happens is a lot of times we see the glitz and glamour of manhood. See, we see the big house and the big car, and we see the trips with our wives and things of that nature. And a little boy in us says, "That's what I want," and we jump into it thinking that's what it is.
Yep.
But nobody never sees the work behind all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yeah, you hit it right on the head. That power struggle, because here it is: the little boy wants the glitz and glamour. The
mm-hmm.
grown man wants to work to get to the glitz and glamour.
Mm-hmm. So, and I know you got to get ready and go in a few. So I got a couple more questions I want you to really tackle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get you on up out of here. Um, this one is so men rarely talk um about what's going on internally for different reasons that we already discussed earlier in the video. So, what signs, like, what do we look for to know that they are mentally battling with something then? And I know it looks different for all men, but just like as a man, like different things you've seen men go through where you could look at them and be like, oh, yeah, he putting up a front. Like he acting like he good, he got the money, got the drip, as you say, he got all that going on, but yeah, he battling. Like, what signs do we look for?
Three main things. Three main things. Three key things you look for. Number one, silence. I don't care how quiet your man is. Silence. Silence. Number two, lack of interest in communicating, um, being amongst other people, or lack of presence in the home. Him being there, but he's not there. Number three, the most important, when he consistently tells you nothing, when he don't want to communicate, when he don't want to talk, like, you know, giving quick answers. If you ask him, babe, you hungry? Yeah. What you want to eat? Don't matter. He's there, but he's not there.
Mhm.
Those are three main things. And at that point, he's at his breaking point. But it also comes from lack of trust
Yeah,
because we've been beaten down so much.
yeah, yeah, and that lack of trust. Because again, like what I want, and this is my next one. I'm going to give to you, and then you can go ahead and head up out of here. Um, so this one I'm going to have you address the women on, because one thing about it is, like you said, women, there's a lot of single parent homes. You know, a lot of women have raised, young boys. So I feel like, I know we always say a woman can't teach a man how to be a man, and we get that. But a woman, a mother can teach a boy, a teen, a man, basic life principles, such as expressing himself in healthy ways, or, getting help, the basic principles, how to love a woman, like different things like that. So, how can let me put that on the screen. So how can women better be there for men when they are in a mental battle? And it's not just your man. Although if you're in that home with your man, you should definitely be watching for these signs. But like, even as me, for like my homeboys or my brother or my cousin, how can women be there better for men when they are in a mental battle?
Get in a business. Stop letting, he'll be all right. No, get in a business. Babe, how was work? Like my wife, when my sons come home, y'all come here. How was school? What happened? What happened today at school? How was work, babe? How was the shop today? When I go clean my building, how was the building? You know, get in their business. Um, Not only that, show genuine concern. Don't use how was work as a conversation piece.
Yeah, yeah,
Be genuine about it.
yeah.
If I come home and tell you something that's bothering me at work, I don't need you telling me what I did 5 years ago. Well, it was the same thing when you quit that job, and this, we don't need that. We know our mistakes. If he's actually being a mature man, we know our mistakes at this point. And sometimes we don't need you to talk back to us. That's real big with us men. A lot of times I don't need your opinion. I just need you to listen. Let me rant and rave for my little 15, 20 minutes as long as I want. Let me do that. Sometimes I don't need a response to what I'm saying. I just need to get it out,
Mhm.
because a lot of times it's just me doing just that. Notice the difference between me just needing to vent and then me needing a shoulder to cry on. Because women tend to get the two mixed up. And what'll happen is, if she's not careful about who she's with, sometimes women like the shell of men, if that makes sense.
You say shelve,
Yeah, the shell. So
the cold shoulder.
no, no, no. When I mean shell, what I'm saying is it's kind of like they like the exterior of men. The
You said shell. Okay, okay.
yeah,
I heard a
shell.
different word. Okay.
Yeah. So women like the outer appearance, if you will, the tough guy, and I got this and I don't need nobody. Women tend to flock to that. They like that. Oh, an independent man, he don't need this. No, no. I can tell you right now, I need my wife. There's things that my wife know about me that my mama don't.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about some deep, dark stuff.
Hmm.
So when it comes to women and men, like for instance, you have a son, get in his business. Have those conversations with him that he don't want to have. Hey, I noticed, you've been hanging around little Becky lately.
Yeah.
Is it something there? Let me know something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
And
talking about? I'm noticing that you're a little bit secretive with your phone. What you doing?
Mhm.
Now I always tell women this: if he taking all day in the bathroom, mind your business. I'm sorry, I gotta say it.
Yeah.
If he's taking all day in the bathroom, mind your business.
The thing too, and I want to add, I'm glad you just said that because I see those little posts a lot too. The thing is, like you said, when he's distance, when he just don't want to be bothered, a lot going on. A lot of times we tend to always retreat to cheating, right? Oh no, I
Yeah,
got another woman, something going on. We don't automatically think like, man, he really going through something. Like, what is really going on? We automatically go to cheating. But when you said let him talk, like let him get it out. The thing is with that too, we got to remember, okay, when he's going through it, now is not the time after he done talking for you to tell him something wrong with your car. Now is not the time
yeah,
to tell him something about a bill. Oh, dang, well, this bill is overdue, right? Those are not the time when he's expressing himself because I noticed too, I've had men say, when those things happen, you just showed me that you said F you. Your feelings don't matter. When you get done talking, I need you to go do X, Y, and Z. And so
yep,
that makes a man shut down as well. So,
yep,
I like how you said that, like get in the business. And when you say get in the business, correct me if I'm wrong too. You're not saying like interrogate him like you're his mom either. Like
not
I think we have to learn the difference with that as women too. We got to learn to be his woman and not his mother. So those are
yeah.
different dynamics as well. And we can't dive into it because I know you got to get ready and go. We might have to do a part two because I didn't even get to all of my questions on here, and I really love the input that you've given so far. So before you head on out, do you got any more last words of wisdom for everybody?
My last words of wisdom are to all of the men on here that's watching or that may be watching later on down the line. Gentlemen, it's time for us to step up. Let's get out of internalizing our hurt, our pain, and our anger. Therapy is good. Find somebody to talk to. There are a lot of groups around, there are a lot of churches around, there are a lot of pastors around that's willing to genuinely help you. We have to stop being macho and not wanting help.
Mm-hmm.
And when everything pile up, we explode. We have to stop exploding. We have to stop being macho. If you need help, seek help. It's not cowardly to seek help.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, for all you ladies that's watching or maybe watching, get in his business. If you feel that he needs therapy, talk to him first and find out if he really needs it. And if he do everything in your power to get him help. But mainly, fellas, pray over your house. Ladies, pray over your man. That's all I got.
Yeah. Pray, and not only pray, like words of encouragement, affirmations, those go a
Yeah,
long way. If you don't know
yeah,
what to
dude.
say, if you don't know how to get in his business, hey, something going on, right? Find some words of affirmation, just shoot him a text, send him a voice,
Yep,
call him, you go to voicemail, send them, say I love you, sing to them some. Like it's always ways to show them that I see you. You're not
yes,
saying nothing, but I see you. So I
yes.
thank you, Charlie, for coming on. Guys that's gonna watch later, you can hit me up, hit him up. His link is in the caption. If you want a little bit more details on this, I know we have to hurry up and shut it down because he got somewhere to be, but it's enough nuggets in here, I feel like, for y'all to sleep on, eat on, and talk about later. So I will
Yeah,
see
we
y'all
can
next
we can
time.
definitely do a part two though.
Okay. I would love that. I really would. So
All right.
I enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Right.
All right.